the edges missing in the fields.
Well, that's brutal. I got to write that in my notes. I was supposed to be there. Edges, brown edges in fields, not drought. Oh, that's great. We get to hear the birds chirping.
That is in the back.
Yeah, and if you need us to fill in,
There you go. We are live.
Tara complained because we didn't have music last week.
Yeah.
So is that going to be like dark or bright, or do we need that umbrella?
No, they'll see us normal. It's just the screen. We won't see the screen very well, just for the simple fact that we have the glare on us. So they will see us perfectly.
So we're explicit, so you can swear, you can do whatever.
Where's the swear jar?
We are. Yeah, I didn't have room to bring it, but I might use the ashtray. The swear jar is at home, but we are live right now. I will. You got a card in there, Tyson?
Yep.
Right.
You ready?
Kick this baby off. We are live.
All right. Live. It's the fan's perspective. I am Tyson.
And I'm Josh.
And welcome, Tanis Eckert, to the show, Simplot Grower Solutions. This show is everything ag, so if you have any questions, please contact us via text or phone. We'll pass the questions on to Tanis. She is the smart one here, and we're just along for the ride. So we're going to quiz her, and she works out of the leader office. And I'm just going to give a little information about the Simplot company. So JR Simplot Company and GMAX Ag team aligned in a lot of ways, and they are very proud to have continued to be the same people delivering the same level of service with the same values. Simplot's purpose and mission are: we contribute to feeding our world by sustainably bringing Earth's resources to life, with the core values being passion for people, respect for resources, and spirit of innovation. JR Simplot began growing his business in the fields of southern Idaho in the late 20s, armed with keen big words, entrepreneurial instincts and constant curiosity. This business has grown to be a leader in global food and agriculture industries. The JR Simplot Company remains family owned and privately held, over 14,000 employees worldwide. The JR Simplot Company has 5 business groups that cover everything from mine to plate, including agribusiness, food group, land and livestock, life sciences, and Simplot Australia. Simplot Grower Solutions fits into the agribusiness group as the ag retail arm. Other divisions within agriculture or within agribusiness include mining and manufacturing, wholesale, turf and horticulture, and diversified industrial silica feed ingredients. Simplot Grower Solutions aims to be a grower-focused retailer with local crop advisors on the ground, Tanis, offering proactive services, agronomy expertise, and a full range of products and technologies that our growers can count on. There you go. That's Simplot.
That is a mouthful. You did pretty good.
I only got grade 1 level reading, but hey,
you did pretty good.
That entrepreneurial just stuck, in my head. So
with the start of the show, Tyson, where is the umbrella? I am going to go set it up. It will help it clear up a bit. I just logged in and I was watching myself, and it is a little dark. It isn't that dark, but it is a little dark.
Set it out here.
Perfect. Me a minute. I will set it up. You guys continue on, and I'll get it set up.
I don't know where she set it, man.
I will find it.
Anyways,
find Tara.
Well, Tanis, we are going to start the show. I mean, it's something that's going on everywhere. We're driving down the fields. We were discussing before the show. You said you're tired of seeing brown edges on the fields, on the edges, grasshoppers. So my question to you, Tanis, is, first of all, when should a farmer look at spraying? What kind of numbers does he need to see? And, from there, how often should he be checking the situation or monitoring?
Right. So first of all, I'm going to say that these opinions are my opinions.
Yep.
Every field is very different. Everywhere in the world is very different.
Okay.
And when you look at what's out there for grasshopper pressure, what they think should be in a field for pressure and when you should spray is often dependent on potting time or when there's heads in your crop.
Yep.
We are not there yet.
No, we're a long ways from there.
But we have these fantastic little creatures
all
all over the place that they laid their eggs. We had a really, really warm spring, and the eggs were able to hatch earlier than normal.
Yep.
And here we are. Our wheat and our durum, we have 2, 3, 4 leaf durum, and we have grasshoppers coming in from the ditches.
Yep.
Totally cleaning it up.
Lots of them. And actually, so, this is just something we've done within our RM. We're not going to mow the ditches for the next 2-3 weeks because of fear of them just moving out of the ditches and directly into the farmers' fields.
Right.
So,
Right.
so there's a few options, or a couple different options. So tell me the difference between contact versus residual grasshopper poison, and what one may offer and then what the other kind of offers.
Yeah, so there's several different insecticides on the market. This year in Canada, things changed as of, I think it was the end of April.
Yep.
And the products that we've been using in the past, such as Matador, Silencer, they came with a label that says that the crop that is sprayed with that cannot be fed to livestock.
Big controversial thing.
Very, very tough to manage that.
Yep.
Because I can sell it to you, you can buy it. However, the grain merchant at the end can say, I don't want to buy your grain.
Yep.
We're in a tough situation right now that if we don't do anything with these fields, there's going to be no grain
to have. Yes. And the one thing is we actually have a crop out there worth saving. This point last year, it would, you'd have looked and it would have been a blessing almost, because there was no crop there anyways. So
right.
we do have a crop to save at this point. Would you say, and I've been hearing this, would you say the grasshoppers are further along this year than they have been in the past?
Yes, definitely they are. Starting to see them start to fly already, which is
crazy.
unheard of.
Yeah, for second week in June going into.
Yeah, that's normally an end of July type thing.
Yeah.
So we're that far ahead. Once they start flying, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how we're going to manage this.
Yeah. So just a question I'm going to ask you now, in your personal opinion, and I know everyone has an opinion, do we have a very small window to kind of get ahead of these hoppers before they become a massive problem? Or are we going to be, they're just going to be a constant problem, maybe not overwhelm us, but they're going to be like that pest kind of all year long?
Yeah, so that's going to be very weather dependent.
Oh, okay. So we need rain. We need rain. Okay.
Because with rain, then the grasshoppers get sick. Means that they can't lay eggs and they can't keep reproducing and going in that cycle.
Yeah. They're the opposite of me, because without rain, I get sick. But Josh is in the background. He's putting his Speedo on. He's kind of getting lathered up with oil. So he'll be in shortly, but he's the stage crew. You're going to have to go to the right with that a little bit. But anyways, so what kind of water should guys be using volume wise? I'm talking for the hopper spray to get the best results. Is there a difference whether they use 5 gallons, 10 gallons, 7.5? In your opinion, of course, we're not basing it on any thing other than your opinion and my opinion, and we'll maybe throw Josh's in there every once in a while.
Nobody wants mine.
So volume wise, water.
So it depends what type of an insecticide you're using.
Okay.
If you're using one that's a contact kill,
yeah,
of course, more water droplets equal more chance of taking out those grasshoppers.
Okay.
So higher water volume.
So 7.5 minimum, 7.5 to 10, 10 to 15, because I know there's guys out there that got the tips anyways for desiccating. The more the better, or is there a happy medium?
So everyone is different.
Yeah.
I like to meet in the middle with them depending on the tank size.
Okay.
And
so 3.5 gallons we're talking.
No, Tyson. We've gone through this before.
Well, I thought the middle. I was thinking 2, you 5, 3.5.
We've had this argument already this year.
Okay, so would 7.5 be probably a fair number?
Yeah, it truly depends on their tank size, like a 1,200 gallon US tank, or a 1,600. Those are the most common.
Yep.
trying to get them through acres.
Yeah.
I get it. Hauling water sucks. I totally
Oh,
understand.
That is, it's almost as bad as cleaning out the barn in winter, but
The barn's worse. The barn's worse.
only with goats, only
Yeah.
with goats. And he's back. He's lathered up. He doesn't
I'm
look any,
sweating. You didn't tell me how heavy that thing
Doesn't-
was. I looked at Tara and said, holy shit, I tried to hand bomb it with one. Almost died. They have a pail full of cement.
doesn't look any better, but
Yeah, well, we're
I'm
working
talking
on it.
about you, but we do. Well, this is outside and we're kind of sheltered out of the wind. So if we got a little darkness, it's because
And
Josh
we-
didn't shave today. So
We do have a little darkness. I apologize for it, but
anyways, we're talking about grasshoppers. We discussed a little bit of water. Is there a specific time of day you should be looking at spraying the hoppers, like morning, evening, or pretty much you can, I guess it depends on which chemical you're using possibly.
Yeah, early morning and evening, you're always going to have your best results.
Okay.
That's where they come out and
Yep.
they like to stretch in the morning
Yeah. Yeah.
and head off to eat some.
So I've noticed scouting the fields because I farm. There's some green ones, there's some black ones. They're almost initially I seen some white ones. Now maybe hoppers change color as they grow. I'm not sure, but is there a specific one that's maybe a little more army like in its attack than another color?
There's actually several different types of grasshoppers.
Yep.
Some do more. Josh, I think you should really listen to this.
oh god. Oh god. I'm listening. I'm just moving the heaviest barrel ever, but I'm gonna get you guys lost.
Oh my God, he pulled a muscle. I have no workman's comp here, man.
Eventually gonna get it.
So back to the question, is there some worse ones than others? Or I know there's no friendly one in my book, of course, but
There are some grasshoppers out there that don't do a whole bunch of damage.
Yeah.
The problem is that we have the Packards.
Yeah.
And they are the worst.
okay. And are they a specific color, those ones? Or?
They got some black striping on
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
I always think of a Packard will pack your field away and it will
Yeah.
not be there.
yeah.
They eat it fast. That's the thing. That's the craziest thing to me, not being a farmer. They're like, yeah, I got to get out today. If you miss a day, it costs you thousands.
Yeah.
It's absurd. Like,
Yeah, it is big numbers we're talking about, and at the value of crop, even an average crop, let's say 30 bushel an acre
Mhm.
crop at today's values, $10 a bushel, that's $300 an acre. If they mow off, I don't know how much they could mow off overnight, but let's say they take 10% of a 160 acre field or whatever. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but just to put a value on this, because of this pest that we're fighting, we're looking at anywhere from $5 an acre cost
Yeah.
to $15 an acre cost, depending on what product you're using and if you're looking for some residual. But that's a very large expense
Yep.
just to fight one pest.
Yeah.
what option do you have? You don't right now with the amount that we have out here.
You don't-
So I got a question for you. So there's a contact and a residual. Is there the option where you can mix the two together and kind of you get the instant contact, of course, but leave the residual on the plant for future hoppers possibly moving in from the grass or from neighboring fields or whatever?
Yeah, so there's different chemistry companies, I'll call them, have different products, and yes, there are some of those available on the market.
Okay, that you can tank mix and kind of
Yeah.
catch two birds with one stone almost, and give you a little longer protection.
Yeah, so protection, when you're talking a residual product, you're looking at 7 days.
Yep.
So the plant soaks that in, and then the grasshopper comes along, takes a bite, and then he dies.
Yeah, but devil's advocate, if it rains in the meantime, that's washed away, right? Or will there be still some residual?
Probably gone.
Yeah.
But rain is a good thing.
Yes, we'll always take
Because-
rain because rain slows up the hoppers at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah,
So
every time that it rains, we have a better chance of combating these
Yep.
and hoping that they get a disease.
Yep.
And disappear.
okay.
And
Well-
I find it really interesting right now. So we're in June. We've had good moisture.
Yep.
We've had some significant moisture in some areas.
Yep.
And we have some waterlogged crops but yet in the ditch, it's loaded with grasshoppers.
I
Like,
know.
you don't normally get.
I know, I was spraying some the
crazy.
other day,
that.
and we have a power line that runs right along the ditch, and I'm weaving out and then in and then out and then in, trying to get as much of the ditch as possible to try and kill them in the ditch, because that's where they're making their nest right now. That's where they all are, right? And
Yeah.
that's where they're moving in from. That's why, Josh, if you will drive out in the country, and Tanis was talking when you were setting up this thing over here, and by the way, did it help at all?
No, we're very dark. I just got a text said you could use some light in there, old boy. I said, yeah, well, we're outside.
Okay, anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh, you'll notice, you probably did along your drive, the brown on the edges of the fields
Yes.
and stuff where the hoppers have ate quite a bit off, and
It's crazy to me. Hoppers, I never, growing up, I hated them. They're gross. They're ugly. But I never realized until you actually realize that's people's livelihood. These bastards are literally eating overnight. You
Yep.
go to bed, and your crop looked great that day, and the next day you go out and they destroyed a third, a quarter, whatever. They decimate them, and it can happen like that. That's the part that I can't even.
So I have a question for you. As a farmer in Southwest Saskatchewan who
Yep.
has been combating grasshoppers,
Yeah.
how many acres right now would you say you've lost?
actually, to be quite honest with you, we went early, right as of it stands now, because we were very fortunate to get some early rains. I would say we have 0 acres right now that have been a total loss. And what I mean by a total loss is brown, that there's no plant matter there. Yes, we have had, you can see there is some bite damage and in the leaves, but we have no acres right now as it stands. That is a total loss in our
Wow.
area.
Do we get to cheers to that?
Awesome. Yeah, and we should. We might be the only one. Yeah.
Oh, wrong one. Wrong one.
Cheers to that.
But so that I'm not saying I'm not going to. We are very proactive, and you can be proactive, and it still bites you in the ass, the grasshoppers. There's no question. But through this area, we kind of had the late snow. The snow was on the ground here a little longer, it seemed like. We did get a couple, I know, of storms early that kind of were missed in some other areas. And I'm thinking that is the only reason that it maybe changed the hatch of the hoppers themselves.
I also think that the ice that we ended up with in December.
Was that a blessing? Because my cows said no.
No, no, even I said no. Ended up on my ass.
But so it's a very small area. I know there's lots of guys out there, and don't hate me for saying this because I said that we have no damage up to this point, but there is a lot of producers out there that have a lot of damage, some more than others, but there is some damage pretty much everywhere in the southwest corner of the province, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is a problem, sorry, and it's ongoing. Hopefully we get ahead of them, and we'll see, I guess, what the next probably 3-4 weeks bring, because that will be a true tell as to where the hopper battle goes. It's kind of like Ukraine and Russia. Only Trudeau doesn't give us 500 million to combat the hopper.
No, no,
Good luck.
Come on, Justin. Like,
you're on your own.
Good.
I know we're Canadian citizens, but we need some help. So anyways, moving on from the grasshoppers, here's other thing guys are spraying for. Flea beetles, I've heard, in the mustard.
Mhm.
We can move that away.
No, we are gonna keep trying it until we can
So
finally
flea
get the
beetles,
right
what
angle.
what should you look for when to spray them? It's probably a little different than grasshoppers. So give us your take on that.
Yeah, so flea beetles actually do the most damage to a mustard or a canola crop when it's just coming out of the ground.
Okay.
So when
Yeah.
it's just coming out, it's called the cotyledons, where you just have the 2 little wee leaves.
Yeah. When it looks like a weed.
Right. And when they start piercing and chewing on those little leaves, they can break the growing point off.
Mhm.
And then that
Plant
plant
stem.
dies.
Yeah, because it's just one stem growing up. They nibble it off, bang, it falls over, done.
Yes.
Okay, so they're pretty quick, so you got to be on them. What numbers should you kind of be looking at or noticing on the plant before it's a concern? kind
Yes.
of?
So the numbers on that actually go off of how much of the leaf has been chewed.
Oh, okay. So if there's numerous bites in a particular leaf, like, so what would you say would be time to spray. If you notice, 2 or 3 bites kind of in a leaf, or 1 bite even, or where would you be at
Yeah,
with
so
that?
there's several factors that go along with that.
Okay.
Or do you have striped and crucifer
Yeah,
flea beetles in the field? Do you just have crucifers?
yeah,
Are you actually able to see them? Because they're tiny
yeah.
little
So,
black dots.
so you probably won't see the beetle itself, but you'll notice the damage they have done.
But if there's really high population, you'll see them.
Okay. So you do sweeps then, or
No,
just damage checking?
Stand still and look for them.
So you named 2, Tanis.
Mhm.
Is there a difference? One worse than the other, or
Yeah, the striped are
the
worse.
striped or where?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
them
can
striped
do more
bastards.
damage.
Striped in anything is pretty much bad.
Is there any crop that is just more susceptible that bugs don't like it even? Like, is that exist? Is there like, this is the hardiest bastard,
Kochia,
Kochia.
grow weed?
or thistle,
God.
maybe cactus. You know, no one likes
Hey,
cactus,
cactus is
especially
useful.
when
You
it's in
just
your
gotta
ass or
find that's
something.
true. That's
Each
true.
crop seems to have its own pests.
Really, it's just the way it is.
Yes, and so we've been in drought for 6 years, and that's part of the problem. I believe is everything loves drought, and it seems like when you've been in drought a long time, you allow the populations to build up. Till you can break that drought, you're going to be dealing with that. And so
But
looking ahead, maybe next year will be better if we can get some fall rain and
But just to follow up on that,
Yeah.
let's talk about our gopher population.
oh my goodness.
Where did that go over the winter?
Well, I sent an email out to most of them and said, like, it's dry. My cows are very hungry. Could you please leave the premises?
Yes.
So
I'm glad
whether
they
that
answered
worked,
the email.
yeah, yeah. You know, as I drove down the road the one day, I thought I seen one giving me the finger. So I got the email. I'm positive. Why else would he? Either that or he's seen me shoot.
That was
like,
me. That was
Oh,
me.
you're a
I'm not
gator.
that tall.
Yes, I agree. I would say now this is just number off the top of my head. We would have 50% less gophers
Mhm.
here than we did a year ago. A little more now because the hatch is out and there's a bunch of little ones. And boy, are they hard to shoot. Like there's
It's your
tiny-
eyesight, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to have a chilada to straighten out my shot. But anyways, yeah, where did the gophers go? We were waiting for a disease, whether that happened or whether the ice and the snow and I mean, we had an extended winter, so they didn't have a lot to eat when they came out in spring. So whether that all probably played a bit of a role, I would say maybe.
I agree. Yeah.
But hopefully they continue to go down. I know some of the new poisons out there actually have been working, and lots of guys have been using the bait stations, and I think they're working, and a lot of different things out there. So we talked about some spraying and stuff, but I want to get into water quality and how important that is for any type of spraying that you're doing. So I sent some samples to you, and I'm not going to say from where, but they were high in nitrates and stuff like that. So when you have water that's, say, of that quality, what does it do when you mix the chemical in versus if you have real good quality water? So how will that affect your spraying?
So different chemistries like different pH of water.
Yep.
To work.
Okay.
And so something we face in our area is high pH water. We have high pH soil, we have high pH water. And so we need to bring that pH down to where some of these chemistries work their best.
Okay.
And so we add different water conditioners. Glyphosate is something that struggles with water pH. Your group 1 herbicides for your wild oats and your grassy weeds, that struggles. And your desiccants.
Yeah. So when you have a high pH in your water and you're mixing your tank, is it like oil and water almost, that it just stays suspended in the water versus a nice mixture, or what actually happens there?
So often if you have high pH, high biocarb, you'll end up with a high TDG.
Okay.
Yeah. TDS, sorry.
Okay.
Total dissolved solids.
Yep.
And so that's like junk in your water.
Okay.
So when you mix the chemical in, the chemical binds to the junk instead of being useful in your tank.
Okay. Okay, makes sense. So,
And so when you're going at, let's just hypothetically say, a liter an acre of glyphosate, your water alone might be pulling you down to a half a liter.
so cutting your chemical rate in half, basically.
Yes.
By quality of
Just by
water.
quality of water.
So can people bring their samples into you at Simplot there and get them tested and checked?
Absolutely. And we send them away and they come back with how much water conditioner you need to add.
They calculate it for you.
Yes.
That's wicked.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely worth, you're spending the money on the chemical anyways. You sure
You'd
should
be
know.
silly not to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had quite a conversation about this
Yes.
winter.
Yes.
Because
She
I
told
know,
me my water's shitty.
yeah, she did.
I think most people's around here probably is.
But we did something about it.
Mhm.
And come on, say
Yeah.
it. Is it working?
Well, my wallet says no, but my brain says yes.
The crops definitely say yes.
Yeah.
No, it's doing fantastic,
Yeah.
actually. And so correct me if I'm wrong. When I mix the sprayer now, I'm just gonna say this. I have no foam in my water at all with the conditioner before. Halt and this and stop. And so is that a result of bringing my pH more neutral?
No.
No?
That water conditioner that you're using
Yeah.
has a built-in defoamer.
Oh, okay.
So you do not need the extra bottle.
Oh, okay.
But
Right
thanks for
on.
learning.
Yes. Hey, look at there.
There we go.
I got a little smarter tonight.
Yeah.
That's good to know because I
That
was
will
like
change.
raving, like, wow, there's no like foam in this. This is amazing. She does know what she's talking about. But water quality, in all serious, very important. And this, I mean, we knew we didn't have great quality of water, and after getting it tested and that, wow, an eye opener. And like I say, it's not that expensive to treat your water. It's a little bit of money, but when you're spending that kind of money on chemical, you might as well try and get the best results possible.
Absolutely. When you think of the amount of money that is going into your sprayer tank,
Yeah.
don't you want the
Yeah, why would
cheapest
you?
thing
You
to
literally
be-
are wasting money at that
Yeah.
point if you're not dealing with all sides of it. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy. So,
Water is not just water.
no,
It is not.
it is not. And it's kind of like beer.
And
is not
dirt
beer.
isn't just dirt.
That's right. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah,
But I don't farm.
white dirt. You don't farm because you got a great job with lots of money.
I do have a great job, but nobody yells at me anymore. My dad doesn't work there, so it is a great job.
So a couple other things now. We've covered the flea beetle, the grasshopper. Have you seen any cutworm or wireworm in the area yet?
Yes.
Yes. And tell us a bit about that for the viewers or listeners at home. The difference between a cutworm and a wireworm, and how you go in attacking them to try and alleviate the problem.
So wireworms are orange and they live in the dirt.
So like your chilada can, basically.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or this. Yeah.
Okay.
And they just kind of chew at the roots and the stem of the plant until it can't take it anymore. And it changes funny colors and gets sick and dies because it can't move water and nutrients.
Okay. So it kills the plant by attacking the root, basically.
Yes.
Yep.
Underground.
Underground. Can't
You
even
can't
see it.
actually see them.
Not until it will dig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you go about getting control of them if you have
Seed
a problem?
treatments.
Seed treatments. That's
Yeah.
the only answer.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And lots of hindsight.
Yeah.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is no basically, if you have that problem, there's no basically getting out of that problem. Let's say my crop has wireworm this year and I notice it, there's no getting out of that problem. But what could you do preventatively moving forward, say to next year for that? Is there anything other than seed treatments, specific crops or anything like that?
No, Tanis and you are going to sit down and have a serious conversation about
Oh.
seed treats.
Geez, my wife has a lot of serious conversations with me too, and that's never a good thing.
It seems to me every time we talk to a woman, they're always very serious conversations, and I'm always in trouble.
It's the fun stuff.
Somebody told me marriage changes everything, and they're
It does. It does.
They're right.
I'm not even.
I
gonna
guess
get
I
into
should
it.
say that would be adding an insecticide to your seed treatment.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Perfect.
And is that on the scale of as cost, like chemical and whatnot, or is it not?
No, it's expensive.
It is, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
There is nothing that is not expensive in this world. today.
That's true.
When
What-
you watch a field disappear and there's nothing you can do about it,
Yeah.
and you
the next year you're going to do it, doesn't matter.
exactly because you would have lost a lot of money there.
A ton of money.
So we talked about wireworm.
Yeah.
Cutworm.
Cutworms.
Okay.
They do exactly what their name is. They cut
Okay.
on the surface or just below the ground.
Okay.
And they cut the crop off.
So is
And
that
they go-
another seed treatment situation or
Yeah.
what?
There are insecticides you can use for them, but they'll kind of just go down the row or out in a circle. And they just cut.
It might be coincidence, but about 3 years ago, I had some cutworm. I took a pole and I pounded it in the field and I hung a pair of Joss's Ginch on there.
Never.
And they left,
Yeah.
like,
They laugh.
cleared right out.
They've never seen such clean underwear. They like to eat nasty stuff. And
So, hey, I'm just saying, if you have a problem, get a hold of John.
I do sell my underwear, whatever you need. You-
I have to give you a shot. You're just too quiet over there. So moving on. I got a whole list here that we're gonna go over. Fungicides. Getting to that time of year, guys are possibly thinking about it if they have some moisture. It's probably the next 2 weeks. Well, guys will do a lot of decision making in that respect. What can you tell us about timing of the fungicide? What kind of options are available, and when should an individual farmer kind of be thinking about fungiciding?
Yeah, so the first thing that you're going to think about is your disease triangle. Is there a host for that disease? Is there an environment for that disease?
Yeah.
And can the disease be there? So it's like a triangle.
Okay.
Second thing is going to be weather. What's the weather like? Are we wet? Are we dry?
Yeah.
What do we foresee coming in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the weatherman sure as hell can't tell us, but
You're right. It's frustrating.
The radar actually, and just your own guesstimation by looking at it is probably the
Yeah.
most accurate.
I
thing
could just
ever.
picture myself calling Tanis right now and saying, God damn it, the weather guy said I was getting an inch, but I never.
Happens all the time.
But something that I have noticed that we haven't had in years past. So last 6 years, very dry. You could look down the rows and very distinctly see lots of air movement and lots of room in those rows. This year, a lot of the earlier crops have a nice canopy already, and we have had a lot of humidity. So that in alone, that's 1 + 1 already.
To make the perfect environment for
Perfect
disease.
storm for
Yeah.
a disease, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of diseases are kind of common that the fungicides will? I know years past we've had leaf rust or stripe rust, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
And so what are you looking to protect against? Say we'll start with a cereal crop and then we'll go into the pulses kind of deal.
Okay. Cereal crop, you want to protect that flag leaf as it's emerging.
Okay.
That's where like 50% of your yield is going to come from.
Yep.
And that's the biggest leaf that it gets before you get ahead.
Okay. Okay.
So one of your most serious diseases, I guess, would be on a cereal crop would be like a net blotch. Farther north, they have fusarium.
Yep. Yeah.
Is going to be a disease that they're going to protect against. We're just going to try and either hopefully be preventative
Yep.
against these diseases, or curative if there's a hailstorm or something
Yep.
like that
Yep.
that goes through that you need to
So a couple of questions
stop
came
the disease
Yep.
from spreading.
from that. One was you mentioned hailstorm. Now, what does a hailstorm do to a crop that you should go in and fungicide shortly after having that storm? What does the hailstorm actually do that makes you need to kind of
Yeah.
go in and spray?
Yeah. So that's very dependent on what stage that crop is at.
Okay.
How bad was the hail? Is it leaf damage? Is
Yep.
it blossoms damage? What's your damage? And how much rain, how much hail? Is it moist down below?
Yep.
Because if it's moist down below and you now have like an open sore
Yep.
on
Yep.
that plant, it's a host for an infection.
Like a
spread.
cut on
Just
your
like a
finger,
cut,
basically.
yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah. And the second question I had of that is, so how long of protection once you fungicide? I know there's a few different chemicals that give you a little different window of protection, but On average, what kind of protection once you spray are you looking for? Like a 10-week day to 2-week window, or what is it?
Very dependent on what
Okay.
you're going for. If you're going for preventative, so
Yep.
before the disease is there,
Yep.
you're going to get more time versus if the disease has already showed up and you're
Okay.
going to try and stop it from spreading.
Yep.
There's many different chemicals on the market. Some of them have what we call a strobe in them, so it flows throughout the plant and can protect the whole plant versus just where it hits the plant.
Just
And
the
that's
damage
what,
part.
Yep.
yes.
So I had a question in regards to our previous came in actually.
Nice. Nice.
They,
Love the questions. Seven.
another guy similar to me who doesn't understand farming, but from probably my best
I
friend in
love
the
it.
world,
I love it.
from down in
I
Florida.
texted you.
Yeah, you're a very good friend, Tyson. You definitely are.
Not what you told me earlier.
Yeah, well, you like the Oilers. Does crop insurance cover if a pest took out your entire thing? How does crop insurance work? Don't you need a certain amount of damage before crop insurance even? I don't understand it. Like, that's something I don't sell.
An
Being an
insurance guy
broker.
doesn't understand insurance.
We don't sell crop
Well, you
insurance.
should
gotta buy it
understand that
from
companies who sell insurance stand way behind the crop.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I don't love insurance. I sell it. It's my job. But even me, I've had claims that I thought should go one way, don't. But I don't understand crop insurance because I can't sell it. We're not allowed
Yeah.
to, and I don't buy it. So how does that work? Would it cover it? But it would have to take out a huge amount, would it not? Isn't that how that works?
So each farmer can be very different. There's different ways of protecting your farm. You can protect based off of one specific commodity or crop.
So there's different types of crop insurance, literally just like a farm policy.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Or you can protect all of your acres altogether.
So if you
that
if you
it's an
protected them
average.
all.
Yeah.
So how would that work if you lost? Let's say you've got a 5,000 acre farm, you lost 1,000 acres. Would there be any coverage for that?
So at this time of year, you would want to contact them, let them know what's going on. Grasshoppers have taken out 1,000 acres. I can guarantee you that they will tell you to reseed.
Oh, okay. Just because it's so early.
Only June. Yes.
Gotcha. So there's so many factors. There's no one answer to that.
And that brings to me what I saw today as I was driving down here. There's cedars doing sloughs and redoing edges
Yep.
and grasshopper damage. And there's peas down the road that are flowering.
Yeah.
It's the first time in history, I think, you're going to see a cedar, a sprayer, and a combine, possibly within a mile.
It's true. It's true.
Welcome to the prairies in 2023.
Yes.
So I'll touch on that crop insurance thing just a wee bit. So if you go to insure, there's two ways of insuring, like Tana said. You can group all your crops into one bundle, or you can individual crops. So let's say you give me that 1,000 acre example. If they went in and I got 1,000 acres of one particular crop, we'll just say barley, and they cleaned all 1,000 acres of that barley out, and it's later in the year and I couldn't reseed, that would get wrote off and I would get paid for it. Okay.
Okay.
For what I insured. Now there's different levels of insurance that you can insure the crops for.
Okay.
But if I grouped it all together and I lost those 1,000 acres, but the other 4,000 brought my average up
You get nothing.
enough, I get zero.
And so would that policy be cheaper than the other one because the other one seems to maybe?
In some cases, it's more expensive
Oh shit.
because when you group it together, it's called the CAP program. When you group it together, you actually get 90% of your guarantee.
Okay.
Everything else, when it's individualized, is 80% and down.
Oh,
So the CAP
the
offers
yield can be
10%
much
more.
larger.
And in some cases, this is a whole new crop insurance program we're dealing with this year. Some cases, the CAP program is cheaper for some individuals. Some cases, it's more money. It's
Like
wild.
every insurance policy, they make
Yeah.
sure that you don't understand it, so that you actually
Well,
never know in the end.
That's the worst part
I'm
of it
sorry,
all.
all insurance brokers out there. I am one, but that's every time I get a wording booklet lately on the new policies, it's like, let's make it so confusing that they just sell it. That's all they care about. Just sell it. And then in the end, it's all I do is live on the phone, not farm insurance, but agro insurance. But it's a constant. Like, well, I thought they had that. Well, they do, unless this was the thing that happened. And that's always what happened.
I will say this: farmers cannot get insured enough for what our
Absolutely
costs are.
not.
We are not making money. For those of you listening out there, if we are collecting insurance, we are losing money that
No,
year.
it is basically, let's be honest, let's say
Yep.
it for it is. It's basically enough just to get you to farm again next year. That's crazy. That's sad,
Yeah.
but that's the
Sad,
reality.
but truly,
Yeah.
isn't that
The reality. The Metallica song. Yes, it is.
Yes.
So I had you down, Tanis, or to look at some peas. Notice they're yellowing a bit in the field, and I've noticed that in the area, lots of peas, some lentils, a little bit. What can you tell us that you kind of noticed and and found in that situation?
So around here, the number one weed that we fight is kochia.
Yep.
And we fight it hard.
Yep.
So we're using lots of group 14 chemistries, which would be like, well, Focus has group 14 in it, Fierce, Volterra, and Authority.
Mhm.
So these are residual products that go down either in the fall or in the spring. And they, as the kochia tries to emerge, it kills it. Now, because we've had a lack of rainfall for the last how many years, we have quite a bit of chemistry sitting around in fields.
In the soil, sitting there unprocessed,
Yeah.
I would call it.
And now all of a sudden, a couple weeks ago, we got, well, I guess it was last weekend, we got a really nice rain. General rain.
I missed that one, Tanis.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Liar, look at his graph. We
No.
know for damn sure. he
That's the
didn't
only
miss that
spot
one.
it rained.
Yeah.
and so you kind of have this moment where a crop gets the root zone, the roots get to the zone where the chemistry is.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it starts to show these yellowing signs, like it's not happy. And you're driving by as a farmer going, what's wrong with my field?
What did I do?
Yeah.
It just got rain. It should be green. And so that's exactly where we're at right now. We have these group 14s, and it's very distinct on the leaves, like peas, for instance, the veins stay green, but the rest of the leaf kind of yellows off.
Yellows. Yeah. And it's not a dead look, it's a sick look.
Yeah.
It's a sick look.
Okay.
You can tell as a farmer, it's not that nice lush green. It's kind of a pale, a little yellowish tinge to it, and just doesn't look healthy. Like
Can you bring it back? Is that
So it'll come back on its own. It
Okay.
just needs to grow through that.
gotcha? Little growing pains.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Holy shit.
Right on, right on. So we're gonna move a little bit fast forward now. I had this topic down there, desiccating. We're gonna get, because that's gonna be hopefully.
So define that for us before we go for us
Because you don't know.
dumbasses. Yeah.
Okay, so desiccating is basically a pre-harvest process where you go in and you spray to dry down the crop to harvest.
Oh, literally get it,
So-
force it to get ready.
Yeah, so you'll notice out there, you'll see some some is kind of yellowing and some's a little greener. And so what you do is you go in and you spray it all with a dessicant to dry the crop down so you can harvest it.
I got you. So it kind of all finishes at the same time. That's literally,
Yeah.
I got you.
Right.
So we're gonna get back into water volume, because that's
Mhm.
hugely important with desiccant. And I ask you the question all the time because I don't want to hear the answer, but I know it is. Like 15 gallons is what kind of a common thing for desiccants?
So this is how I was taught it in school
Yeah, yeah. Terrible teacher, terrible teacher.
way back when. You could start with 5 gallons, then you went to 10, then you went 15, then you went 20. So your pre-seed was 5, your in-crop was 10,
Yeah.
your fungicide was 15, your desiccant was 20.
Holy
Oh,
shit. Pardon my friend.
I
Yeah.
thank
I know it.
Because you need to up that water volume, because now you're dealing with a big, heavy crop.
Yeah,
More
right.
growth there.
It's there. Yeah.
So this thought just came to my mind when you said that, and it has nothing to do with gallons. But I've seen on a lot of new sprayers now where they have a nozzle pointing forward and a nozzle pointing backwards, so that when you're spraying the crop, you're getting both sides of the plant right beside each other. They are. And I
Wow.
thought, hey, I think that's probably something that everything is going to go to, because the coverage, right? Because your angle of your nozzles is covering both sides of the plant, in my opinion.
Yeah, so that's often used with fusarium head
Yep.
blight timing. So that's a disease in cereal crops
Okay.
that can spread, and it's not good.
Okay.
But they like to protect both sides of the head.
No
for the-
way.
for the front and the
That
back.
temperamental.
I got a couple other questions with desiccating, and then one thing came to my mind here that I have to talk to you about. Time of day for desiccants. What time of day should we be going out to desiccate our crops?
Sleep when it's 30 above and spray when you should be sleeping.
That didn't work last year. It was 30 above all night.
Holy hell, let's hope that don't happen again.
So nighttime spraying is best for desiccants.
Yes.
Nighttime is the right
That's
time.
what I thought. Now, lots of times we'll see planes spraying in the air. How does a plane with and I've always wondered this, and no one, I've never been able to ask, so I'm going to ask you. So a plane can spray with so much less water than a ground sprayer. So what is the difference there between the two? Like, how does a plane get away? And if you can't tell me, I know you're not an aviation specialist by any chance, but I thought you might have an idea. Like, how does a plane get away with spraying like 2 gallons an acre, and a ground sprayer has to spray like 15 gallons? Is it something to do with the air movement, or?
I don't know, but I've always thought in my head that it has to be something
With the
to
height of
do
when
with,
they
yes,
deliver.
because
And speed, probably. Like, I mean, you're going.
droplets would hit
Yeah,
harder.
and they will kind of spread out as they
Yes.
go. Plus the speed
Yeah.
probably just covers a much wider area.
Yeah.
Well, if there's someone out there that can tell me that answer, please text it to me, because I've often wondered that. Like, how does a plane get away with that? Because like 2 to 4 gallons is huge for an
Mhm.
airplane.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have no tank hardly on the plane. Maybe I think maybe some of them have 400 to 600 gallons, possibly. That would be it. So I mean, they can.
They're
If they
tiny
want to do
tanks.
acre, yeah, tiny tanks. If they want to do acres, they have to be able to spray less gallons. But it's got to be something with the air movement and stuff like that.
And something that is fascinating to me is the helicopter spraying.
God, I've never heard of
So
it.
that happens up north quite a bit.
So
Really?
Mhm. They're using
That
helicopters.
is so cool.
we're gonna go from the field to the garden now quickly. Lots of people in town, hopper problems hitting their gardens. Is there anything that they can use that's kind of that you know of that is say eco-friendly that they can use in town for their lawns and their gardens? I know Tara likes to use something earth, it's called. I can't think of the first name of it, but that seems to work. But anything that comes to mind for you that they could use at home?
Yeah, so there is a new product. I know that Home Depot is actually selling it.
Okay.
It's been available in the US for many years, and it's finally available in Canada.
Yeah.
You can order it online. It basically infects them as they grow. So they're still there,
Yeah.
but they can't lay eggs
Okay.
that are feasible for the
Perfect.
next.
Yeah.
So longevity's not there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because I've noticed or heard lots of people. I just went in for yesterday's little spike ball thing in Fox Valley, and everyone you talk to, you spraying for hoppers, you spraying, and it's whether it's in town or. And I know lots of towns have bylaws with what you can and can't use and stuff.
You
So
don't tell nobody.
I know.
I mean, cited to. Did I say
But-
that? Is the mayor on here?
They are in town too. Like the
Oh, yeah.
hoppers are in town.
I had
So
one on her bed this morning.
yeah.
I was like, what the hell? My kids leave the door open, but it's like, come on.
Is malathion a product that is still sold, or is that a thing of the
I know,
past?
like, I haven't sold any of it
Yeah.
personally. I think it's a thing of the past, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Have you had anything to do with a neighbor's got one of these eco brand spreaders? Have you had anything to do with that?
I haven't, but I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah, it's you put it in a holding tank kind of, and it shoots it out and it feeds the hopper. So that would be a one that they would have to eat the product and kill
Oh,
them. So
Wow. Okay.
and if you get I know you can buy it in bags, and you can use your hands too and spread it.
Spread it out.
Some of your cooking gloves, perhaps.
Yeah.
Where-
My night trials.
yeah. But you
Feed the friends I don't like.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, we're gonna move on from Simplot stuff. You're a very busy girl.
I am. Oh, but before we do that,
Yeah.
I have a gift for you guys. Can I
Okay.
give you a gift?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. you
yes,
can.
for sure.
Yay.
Your gift isn't here because we don't have it yet, but we do have.
Why is it
something for
running
you.
around with a rope
Yeah.
on it?
No, we're not.
Here, guys, go. I can't wrap like I
Hey,
can.
Oh, that's
doesn't
pretty
matter.
good. That's pretty
No one's
good.
ever given us a gift.
Oh.
No, no.
Well, I decided that I should give you a gift because next
For
weekend is
nothing.
Father's Day.
Yeah.
Oh,
So in case Megan and
Those
Tara
ain't
forget-
any of my kids.
Hey, you watch. Those are good kids. If I was you, I'd take credit.
Oh, well, thank you very much in advance.
Yeah.
This is totally cool.
It is cool.
I was worried that we're gonna have like a sheep in here or something like that.
Well, if she fit a goat in this box, I kind of do want that one.
It's a mini one.
Yeah.
Tara used to have minis at one time. Here's my goat story because we're gonna get into that next. Tara used to have a couple, and the suckers twice. I found them on the hood of my car.
Oh,
Scratched it all up. Oh, that's my goat raising story.
oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. So we're gonna get into this. This is a Simplot Solutions hat, beautiful hat, and I'm gonna put it on here right away. So you're gonna see this
Thank you.
kidding around soaps and such, and that's Tanis's one of her sidelines. She's got a couple. And some body butter. Nice. I should smell really good after this. Tara,
No,
to be real.
you still won't, but this is gonna help.
Every bit
This is
counts.
awesome, and
Every
you
bit.
make all of this.
Yes. I
Yes,
do.
yes. So we're gonna get into that right away here.
Thank
But
you.
thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Greatly
You're
appreciated.
welcome.
Extremely.
That is sweet. There's a nice coffee mug for the morning when I'm in the sprayer. Because that's where I do most of my videoing.
And I'll be texting you because I won't be in his spare. I'll sit in the office getting yelled at by
Anyways,
everybody that buys insurance.
you are what
Thank
I
you.
call an agrologist. Thank you very much, by the way.
No,
You are an agrologist. You also are a farmer slash rancher slash, what do you call it?
Mom
Goats
slash
keeper. What do you call a
everything.
goats keeper? A mom too, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
And we're gonna get into two of the other things that goat person have that big stick too, like
I have the big stick. The big stick.
like a shepherd.
And I have thrown the big stick. And I have said bad words.
is that at Robert or is that just clarifying? Like,
Everybody wanted to know.
yeah, everyone was thinking it. I asked. So you have a little company. It's called Kidding Around Soaps and such. So what do you do with that? And take us from your whole operation. What do you do with this
How
product?
do you
Here.
get to that? Well, I've had the goats for about 8 years. And during COVID, my brother challenged me to try making soap. Challenge accepted.
In your face.
Yeah. And so I do it different than a lot of people. I kid the goats in the fall.
So now I'm a dummy. Kid the goats.
I was gonna ask.
So,
you
Dummy
that.
it up for me.
A baby goat is called a kid.
Yep. So
Okay,
when you
really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
so when you
So
kid the
now-
goats, what does it mean?
Look, what is it called? We're
Kidding around.
around.
Okay, well that makes way more sense. The name, yeah.
So
yeah.
what do you mean by when you say you kid the goats?
Help them have their babies.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now.
So cows, this is all little things that I've learned along the way.
Yeah.
Cows start calving and it's like one cow, wait, another cow, wait. No. Goats, if there's one over there, there's 3 over here, all doing it at the same time.
Really?
It's fast.
No way.
You can kid 30 goats in under a week.
Oh wow.
It's very fast.
Wow.
Yes.
And is it a struggle? Is
That's
there
kinda-
a lot involved? Like when
Similar to Hugh Hefner. I think he had 30 in a week too, but
much different situation. The man's dead, rest in peace. For God's sake.
he still performed a
Yeah,
miracle.
I think he's still got women having children right now. So is it labor intensive? Can it be just like calving where you have to be out there watching 24/7 and
Yeah, so it's cold weather that is your killer.
When did you say you kid the goats?
So end of October,
And-
beginning of
oh, so
November.
start
That's
of
what
winter.
I strive for
shit? Okay.
So why do you choose that time of year?
because that is my quietest time of year.
Okay.
So I can
You have the
milk
most
goats
time.
Yeah.
through the winter
Gotcha.
and dry them up and wean the kids when my life with agronomy gets really busy.
Okay. Okay.
And when does
so-
that get the craziest? About a month
Last
and a
week.
half ago. Oh, really?
Last
Week was the start of nuts.
yeah.
You know, remember how I tell you my story? Like I'm in the sprayer from April to October. That's her busy season.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or any
But when a
agrologist
farmer's
out there.
busy, you are busy.
Yeah.
That's your
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the spraying season is from spring to.
Doesn't end anymore.
No.
But we're not sitting around doing nothing.
No, I know
the
that.
winter, right? Like that's planning, that's fertilizer,
Yeah.
that's making sure that you have your seed and your.
Just Terry sits around and does.
That's
nothing
right,
in the
that's
winter.
That's
That's how
right. She goes.
Terry Wagner there.
So during the off season, is it something where do you go to shows and learning about new product and all that kind of stuff as well? Is that
Yeah, so I have to do so much training
Okay.
in a year to be able to stay certified.
gotcha? Okay.
So
Which would only make sense with
Yeah.
all the new diseases coming out and new
and
everything.
new chemicals and new everything. So that's what I do all winter long.
Jeez, okay.
Put your hours in
It's
for
just
that.
slower at that point in time.
It's just
But-
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to goats. You kid the goat.
I do.
How do you get from a kid,
Something that smells like this.
yes, to
know.
this? How do you? What's the process? Like it's got to be huge. And I also want to get back. You got some photos there. We're going to get back to later on here. but
So
How do you get to that?
How do you get to this? So you're gonna mix. First of all, you have to freeze the milk,
Okay.
because then when you mix it with lye, it must be frozen or it'll scorch, and then it smells awful.
Oh,
What is lye? I'm a real dummy when it comes to this.
Sodium hydroxide.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
And then
Sounds about right.
so you mix coconut oil, olive oil, canola oil, and I have specifically used canola oil because I wanted to showcase how agriculture in my life
oh,
Plays
that's
a role.
awesome.
Yeah.
in all these different things.
Okay.
And and then you mix those two together and you have very short amount of time to add your color, add your scent, and get it poured into a block before it gets hard on you.
Really,
Yeah.
it's a fast.
Yes, do not take a phone call in the middle.
No way, like that.
That fast.
Oh, geez.
That's the excuse she's going to use now when I'm
Not answering
yeah, I was
anymore.
making soap.
Making
Sorry.
soap.
So, how big a batch would you make? Like when you're making a batch of like soap like that?
So one batch makes 12 bars this size.
12 bars. And how long would it take you when you start to do it to this wrapped, ready?
16 minutes.
16
Wow.
minutes.
And
You
there's
can wrap.
no
You
waste
said you
time
can't
there.
wrap very good. I'd like to differ if you can get it done in 16 minutes.
Yeah.
From start to wrap.
You
That's
do
pretty
have, like,
impressive.
there is a timeline in between the making of the soap and being able to package it.
Yeah.
So it
does
has
it
to
have to cure
cure.
kind of? Yeah.
So 3 weeks cure time in between.
It's super cool.
And what else? So you make the body soap and such and that as well. What else do you do with the goats? Like besides the soap and is this lotion? Is this
It
what?
is lotion.
Okay. So besides the soap and lotion, what else do you do with your goats?
We go grazing in the
Yeah.
summer. Yeah.
Lawnmower,
Yeah.
nothing better.
Yeah.
And goats are great. They like a lot of our noxious weeds. Correct
Yes.
me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Some
Oh, I
bad
didn't know.
weeds like
So they'll eat-
leafy spurge is one bad one.
And kosher.
Kochia.
No
They
way.
love
There
it.
we go. We
They
found someone
love
to
it.
eat that.
Yeah. So they why they're so effective, they eat it below this level
Yeah.
of the
Really?
tablecloth. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
They can eat it to the root basically.
Yes.
A goat.
Wow.
So I run portable netted electric fence with very high voltage. I've learned over the years that you cannot run normal voltage like a cow. A goat will laugh at you and walk.
No
through.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough little bastard.
So
Yeah.
do not touch the fence, Josh. When I tell
When it
you
says
that,
don't,
do not.
That's not like
touch
one of
the
those
fence.
little bets that I make
Yeah,
on my
I'd
buddy.
love to see him pee on the
Not a
fence,
chance.
That'd make for a great
Yeah,
YouTube live.
no, I'm not pulling a
Or
calf with you,
Instagram.
and I'm not taking a leak on the goat fence.
Yeah, so the goats are out grazing each evening or weekend. I'm normally, filling the tanker with water or moving some fence around because I do rotational grazing with them
Yeah.
wherever they are.
So how much area like would you need for like your 30 goats to say summer them, grass them?
20 acres.
20 acres. So they're really in the real big picture of all animals, they take a lot less area than say a cow or a horse or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah. I think it's 5 goats equals 1 cow.
Okay.
Oh wow,
Okay.
Yeah.
that's cool.
So I can't believe you call Robert the old goat, but I guess he probably is.
I thought you guys called me the old goat.
Well, that's off camera.
He gets in a lot of trouble off camera.
So you do this, you have goats, you make soap, you milk, you make some body lotion, but you also are one of the owners in Townview Seeds, a certified seed grower at
Mhm.
Maple Creek with your family. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that and kind of how that all got started. I know your dad was kind of he didn't start the certified seed grower, but he was the farmer originally, and then he kind of you guys all got involved.
Yeah, so we are my brothers and I will be third generation on the farm just outside of Maple Creek. My brother came to me, this would have been 5-6 years ago, and he said, how can we make more money on the farm without buying more land? Because we couldn't take on a larger land base.
Down to debt and everything. Yeah.
And because we all have other jobs. And I said, be a seed grower. And he said, well, figure it out.
Okay.
Okay. So that was
Another challenge accepted moment. for Dennis?
exactly different
I
brother.
could, was this
Oh,
what you were
really?
milking goats
No.
possibly?
He's like, I already figured out the fucking soap. Now we're going with the seeds. Yeah.
Yeah, other brother. And so my two brothers, my brother Aaron, who lives in Maple Creek, my brother Craig, who lives in Calgary, and myself. The other part of it was the easiest way for us to transition my dad out of the farm, because my dad's very fortunate. He has 3 kids that want to farm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't have that.
I think he is very fortunate, but I always tell my kids I'm unfortunate because 2 of them want to farm. I said it would be so much easier if none of you wanted to farm. Just sell it, they'd be up everything and you're done, right? When you got multiple interests, it's harder. It is.
Mhm.
So kudos to your dad for
Yes.
but I guess it's easier that all of you want it. If one didn't and 2 did, it makes it tougher, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we're so fortunate to have him there still wanting to do what he's grown to love his entire life.
Yeah.
That is
And
so
now
cool.
now the pressure's off. You guys, he's just like, this is just for fun now. You guys are
I
doing
just
all
do
the
what they
planning.
tell me.
And yeah,
I mean, isn't that where everybody wants to get someday? That was the dream.
Yeah.
that is the dream. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is so
So we're
cool.
5 years in now.
So what kind of products do you grow and sell for seed?
Yeah, so we grow lentils, peas, and we have 2 different varieties of durum.
Yep.
And so it's pedigree seeds. So we have had to buy into some seed companies to be able to grow their
Oh,
seed to be able to distribute to farmers.
It's like a royalty fee almost
Yeah.
that you pay to grow it.
Yes.
Yeah.
gotcha.
So is it hard? Like you all the planning, like was it hard to become a seed grower, or is there lots of rules and regulations that you have to go
There's a
through?
lot of rules and regulations. If you plan your life out on the farm, it's not that hard,
Okay.
but you can't change your plans.
Yeah. And now I'm gonna, because you're a seed grower, everything has to be clean, meticulous.
Yes.
So when you're harvesting, tell us the process of cleaning a combine when you're switching crops, because I know that would, if you tell most people, they'd be, I'm out, like I am out.
Yeah, and it's not even different crops. It's just the same variety crop, or different
Yeah,
varieties
yeah.
of the same
As
crop.
soon as you're switching something.
So on our equipment, we've had to put in some extra what I'll call blowholes into within the combine itself, that we can get in with an air hose to be able to clean out
Literally the dust, everything's got to come out.
everything.
All the seeds, everything. So
Everything.
Holy
do
shit.
you guys use water too to run through the
No.
combines or anything
No.
like that? I've heard of some people trying. Or,
We
you know,
just use air.
air. Okay.
And this is a prime example of why we only grow durum and we don't grow wheat,
Yeah.
for instance, because I'm afraid of the contamination between
Okay.
the 2.
Kind
Okay.
of like a green and a red lentil
That's
kind
right.
of thing too.
That's right.
Yeah. Because you're a seed grower, you have to be pure.
Yeah, and like CFIA, we have to send samples to them. They line up people to come and inspect our fields in season.
Wow.
for weeds that
Yep.
they might find or impurities of any kind.
So do they come when you get it all cleaned and it's in the bin and you got it available for sale? Do you have to submit samples to them and they test the purity of that or
Yeah,
anything
so
like
I have to submit germination samples and purity. And then I always do your 1,000 kernel weight just so guys can figure out what
Yeah.
they're seeding at.
Wow.
And the book started out about this big and now it's about this big because you have to keep all of your records because everything has a lot number.
So how far back do you have to go? Like from?
Well, I have
obviously-
all 5 years, but I can, that way I can trace the seed.
Yeah. So you're like the federal government. You have a 7-year record.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I do in my spare time.
Wow. Work a different job.
Well, I'm not sure you have any spare time, to be quite honest with you. Like, so do you make soap while you're running the cleaning mill? Is that like, can you?
Soap is a winter project.
Okay, yeah.
You just make and make and make in the winter and hope that you have enough to get you through the summer.
Robert
Jeez.
must be the nicest smelling guy around.
No doubt.
Oh, well, that is crazy. That is crazy. So you had some pictures. I forgot to mention. So what are those pictures there?
Are you gonna hold them up?
Well, yeah, I'll hold them up. So this picture here, we're gonna show that to our camera. I don't know if you guys can see that. So
Here
what
we
is
can,
that
yeah.
picture? We're back to spraying here now. What does that picture represent there?
So this is water sensitive paper.
Yeah.
And so we've placed that in the field and then a sprayer's gone across it
Okay.
to show what his droplets are looking like if
Yeah.
he's trying to get a mat of kochia.
So
Yeah.
coverage. This is
That's
literally his
all about
coverage.
coverage.
Okay.
And that one is at 10 gallons.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Now
then
we'll
this
hold another
one,
one up. Use the wind.
This way, go this way. A little bit
Okay.
easier. There we go. You can see it.
same idea. He's going faster. Oh, sorry. The other one was at 13 miles an hour. This one's at 18 miles an hour and 6 gallons of water.
Okay. Okay. You can notice the difference. Now here's another one. I think we're gonna go up just a hair.
Right there.
This one I think is at 6 gallons and 14 miles an hour.
You can see the coverage on the papers at different speeds and gallons.
And the one below that, when you add a wind of 8 kilometers, which isn't very big,
No.
you can see the difference in your coverage.
Wow.
So do you have one for about a 60K wind? Because I know some guys who seem to like to.
I get phone calls often. Hey, I'm got half my crop wiped out last night. I think Buddy was spraying in the hurricane. I'm like, yeah, he was. You probably have a claim.
So there's so many things with spraying and speed and gallons and tips and
Water and
water quality. Like it is not just get in and
Go.
dump and go anymore. There is so much technical involvement, and that's where people like Tanis are huge because they are educated, and a lot of times a lot of farmers, yeah, we get educated through them, but we're not up to date like you would be with products and mixing and what, because a lot of times tank mixing, for example, one chemical cannot go with another, and there is the greatest little book, and it's not little anymore, it's damn thick.
huge.
Like it's a chemical book, and it tells you gallons it should be sprayed at and what it can tank mix
Or
with.
you can,
Or
work
you
with
can tell
someone like
Tanis, yeah.
Tanis and she'll
Yeah.
give you all
That's
of that.
much easier actually.
Well, it is,
I
and
found.
that's why you have someone like
Yeah.
her.
Texting is
Absolutely.
way quicker than looking up in the index what page, and
Yeah.
you can't read it when you're shaking and driving.
Totally.
And then you start the conversation. What would happen if I did this? You're not telling her, you're actually doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what you guys do.
Nice is bouncing in the spare, literally letting it out. What happens if I did this?
That actually was last tanks. So we will have a gift for you before you go. We have just gotten some fans perspective shirts, and so we want your size. He's putting in an
Yeah,
order.
order goes in this week and
Yeah.
half.
Yeah,
So if
and
you like
half.
half,
So
we'd love
when
to
we
get
get
you
our
one.
hands on it, we will be gifting you a hat and
Sure. They go in, hats will be done tomorrow, and they gave us our samples,
yeah.
but our first order for people go in tomorrow, I believe. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
So
Sounds
yes.
great. So I have one more small thing.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so back to the whole goats for a minute.
Yeah. The old goats.
Yeah, the old goats. I cooked some goat
Yes.
at home
Yes.
and I brought it and I thought that you guys should try it.
I think I should try, and I really think he should. Yeah. It's gonna
All
be
right.
great.
I'm gonna get a beer.
Do you mind grabbing me one? I would
Okay,
love one.
okay.
I've had goat a few times in my life, but always prepared the same way. So I'm excited. Always curry style.
Oh, and this is not.
Yeah, of course it would be, which is my most exciting part for me. So
Which kind do you want? 9 Mile?
I don't know. What do you got?
Try that.
What is it?
I'll give Tanis a Bud Light.
An amber ale. Oh, you know I'm in. I would love to
Right.
try it. Are you kidding? I love all food except for, oddly enough, which
I'm
makes me
such
sort of
a-
a weirdo, seafood. I'm not a huge seafood guy.
Really?
I know.
That's weird.
And that is
You're
weird.
weird.
My wife's favorite, and it's my least favorite.
I'm such a wimp when it comes to this, Tanis.
You are.
I am.
And that's why we're doing this.
If I run away, don't take it personal. I am just I don't know.
I know you're a wimp.
I know you're a wimp.
So simple.
Okay.
So what are we eating? You got to explain it to us.
So it's goat. It's homegrown goat,
Okay.
done in homemade relish
Uh-huh.
sauce.
Okay. And
I cannot cook like Josh,
oh god, my food doesn't always turn out. I'll tell you.
but he is avoiding this.
I know
I
he's
am.
leaving. Oh, he's back.
I'm checking the score too.
Okay.
That is back.
I am a wimp. I
You're
don't
gonna like it, I'll be
trying-
honest.
You are.
Tanis is a fine cook, I'm sure. I am just a wimp when it comes to this
You
stuff.
can do this.
It was my third visit to the curry restaurant. My brother orders a Clinton, loves it. It's part of his menu every time. They do 3 different, because over there they eat a lot of goat.
Yes.
And it's, if you went over there to eat their food, chicken's really not on the menu. It's mostly goat and lamb. And over here, there's always a couple items to go to a traditional restaurant, and Clinton orders it every time. I think it was the third time before Clinton finally said, "Quit being such a pansy ass. Eat some of that. You'll love it." And I did. And I'm like, it was great. I just couldn't get it past my head because
Yeah.
it's not something I grew up with.
Oh, there we go.
Get in there, Tyson. And you're gonna like it. I am excited. Watch me not be able to. There we go.
I can do her.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's like stewing meat. It's tender.
Mhm,
It's awesome.
There's the sweetness, the relish.
mhm.
And that's unique in itself.
It is. I'm not a big
Which is-
curry fan either, but I do like goat meat if it's cooked the proper
Proper
way.
way.
Yes,
I am proud of you.
I am too. By the way,
This could have gone badly.
I know.
I don't trust him much with food.
I got to update everyone here. So after the show, we are doing the Riders Ranch show. Following this show, there is about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's what I snuck in to look at. The Riders are up 17-13. So-
Jesus, riders.
Tune in, text, phone. It'll be a great show after this show. I want to thank you, Tanis, for coming on. You were a little nervous, but hey, you did an awesome job.
Yeah, it was
I
a
really
great show. We
appreciate you
do
coming on.
appreciate it. Thanks for all the goodies. Honestly, you're not supposed to bring us anything. We got stuff for you. It's the opposite. We're thanking you for
You
being
betcha.
here.
Are
And
you
don't
having
forget-
another piece?
Yes, I will have.
Love it.
I'm gonna go get a sweater, right? Wait, would you prefer a sweater or a shirt? I'm gonna get one of my sweaters. I'll get you to size it.
Sure.
And one of these shirts
That
as well.
sounds
And
wonderful.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, guys. This
You
was
betcha.
this was awesome.
Yeah,
You
thank you
betcha.
for coming. It was great.
All right.
thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Simplot, for everything you
Yeah,
do.
thank you very much.
Canis, on a personal note, for everything you do for our farm. And if you have any questions, you can get a hold of Tanis at Simplot in Leader. They'll hand out her number. I'm not going to put out her number here or nothing like that, but they'll be able to get a hold of you. And I'm sure Simplot will be more than happy to help any of you out there.
Absolutely. Thank you
And
guys.
these are
so much.
wonderful hats.
Yeah,
by
they
the
are
way.
super
They,
comfortable.
they
They're-
fit really nice. So
Uh,
thank you very much for coming on.
Thank
The
you.
goat is great and the show is better.
That's
Thanks
right.
for tuning in. We'll see you in about 15 minutes.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Let me turn this baby on. Here, guys.
So. Let me